Are you a South African musician trying to figure out when SAMRO pays royalties? Welcome to this episode where I plan on demystifying just that. Now, to be clear, to earn royalties from SAMRO, there's a few things you have to have achieved. First of all, you have to have earned more than 100 Rand in royalties. Secondly, you actually have to be registered with SAMRO. Third, you have to have told SAMRO that these songs belong to you, and these are the people involved with regards to who owns what and the rights of that song. So this is typically referred to as a notification of works. So you have to have done your notification of works. Once these three things have been done, then it takes about 6 months to 2 years for you to get the money that was generated from the performance of that song. So I'm going to head over to my PC and show you step by step on where to find out when SAMRO pays which royalties.
So the very first thing you want to do is head over to the SAMRO website, samro.org.za, and then this is how the website looks. Right at the top where it says distribution, you click on there, and then it'll show you how our royalties distributed, what is a Q sheet, etc, etc. So what you want to do is go into the schedule where it says over here, this will change every year depending on where you look. And then it shows you a breakdown of the distribution schedule. So the distribution schedule is when they will be paying royalties. So what's important is the distribution type. So this tells you what kind of distribution, and I'll show you how to check what this means. But for simplicity, let's just go to radio in general over here. So radio and general is royalties distributed from radio use and general use. So that's the distribution type column. The next column is the financial year. So this is the year it'll be paid. So for financial year for SAMRO, that is 2025. And then the data submission cutoff. So this is not as important for you as the musician, but more important from the side of the radio station with regards to this section. So the music user has to give all the information that these are the songs that we played in the last 6 months or the last year, depending on the type of distribution. So if your song is played after, but you as a musician, you can get this information, because if your song is being played after this date, then your royalties will be delayed and only get paid out in the next year. And then lastly, if you look over here, it also shows the payments of rights holders. So this is December 2024. So this is for last year, for this distribution cycle. But if you keep on scrolling down to this is where you'll get the latest ones. It's in alphabetical, your numerical order, not numerical, but in terms of time, chronological order, that's the term. So most distributions have already been collected. The submission has already been submitted, and then the rights holders should be expecting payments this month for post-sequence MIT. So this is mobile and transmission, and then performance adjustments. If you don't know what the distribution type means, you can get more information by going right to the top where it says distribution, and then this pop-up comes through, and then it explains over here in distribution categories. This is where you'll get the types. So you click in there, and then it explains more or less the different distribution types. So for radio and general, so for radio, public service, private services, and community services, these are different kinds of radio stations. General, recorded music. So diffusion services are those services that help diffuse your music out in the general public. Live is also one that people tend to miss out on. Live performances is when music is played in public, but you are physically performing it live. This royalty stream is often forgotten by musicians, but I have definitely gotten royalties a few times from live performances. Granted, I'm not a live performer generally speaking, but I do get time when I do perform live. Television, TV in general is also one that tends to give a lot of, I think this is the second biggest distribution after radio in general. But public services, private services. So this is when you watch TV and you hear music, this is where you'll get the royalties. This also encompasses sync music. So that is where rebroadcast, for example, that is where those royalties come from. Film is from cinemas, so if you have music being played in certain film shows, etc., there's some royalties generated there. Foreign, all categories, so all the things I've mentioned before, but if they're coming from abroad, they are distributed within the foreign sequence. And MIT is mobile and internet transmissions, so for internet radio, internet television, streaming services, so you should be getting your royalties from Spotify, Apple, etc. So these are the 6 subcategories, and this is how, if you don't know what is what, to get the details of what is meant by the different distribution types.
Hope you find this useful, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as it helps me know that you are finding the information being given useful. Until next time.